Colleen Shawn, and I'm a Copic Regional Certification Instructor and co-author of the Copic Coloring Guide. One of the first things I like to teach beginning Copic users is how to color smoothly, creating a nice smooth coat without all those streaks. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have scratch paper down on your surface, because the ink will bleed through your cardstock. Now for smooth coloring, it's actually very simple. We're going to take the brush tip and we're just going to start coloring in our image using small circles. Now you'll notice I'm only coloring one petal at a time, and I'm really going over the surface fairly slowly to create that nice smooth coat. The idea is to keep your leading edge wet, because wet ink will blend with itself. So take your time and really add a lot of ink to that surface. And you'll get a nice, smooth, even coat of ink. Now, one of the things you can do to check to see if you've got a nice, smooth, even coat is to turn your paper over and check the back side. And you'll see the ink does come through the back, and that's normal. If it's smooth on the back, it's going to be smooth on the front. You can check in the Copic Coloring Guide on page 8 for more information on smooth coloring. Now, if you color like I do, sometimes a little crazy, you might go outside the lines, but we can probably fix that. Let's talk about the colorless blender. On this sample, I've actually gone outside the line, and I'm going to use my colorless blender to push that ink back inside. The key is to make sure that you start with your colorless blender outside of the ink, and you're going to use small circles, and you're actually pushing that ink back inside your image. It does take some time and a little bit of patience, but with perseverance you can get that ink to move right back inside the image and fix your mistake. Once the colorless blender dries, you're not going to be able to see that mistake. You can go ahead and check out the book on page 18 for more information about why that happens and more ways to use the colorless blender. It does take a little bit of time for your colorless blender to dry, so just wait for it to dry, and if the mistake is still there, just come back in with the colorless blender and do it again. It's kind of like a push broom. You need to push that color back inside your image. Now, something you need to understand is that the darker the shade, the harder it is to fix. So if you've made a mistake in a dark color, or even sometimes red, which is a stubborn color, you just need to embrace that mistake.